Hi there, Phillip Harrison from Fifth9. We're here at Blockchain Week. I'm here with Tommy Jamet, the President of the Government Blockchain Association in London and also the Managing Partner of TKN Audit.
That's true.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Tommy, you've just given a very interesting panel discussion all about tokens, security tokens, utility tokens, what they are, what the difference of them is. For the audience to start with, can you just talk about what a token is, what a utility token is, and what people think a security token is, and what it isn't?
So it's a big question indeed. And first of all, so what is a token? And a token itself is and could be a lot of different things. A token is the representation, as it is today, a token is the representation of an asset or a product on the blockchain. So at the moment, a token is, if you look at an envelope, for example, an envelope is a mean to send a letter. A token is the same thing in the digital space. It's a mean to send information. So that's what a token is.
Yep.
Now,
The utility token?
A utility token is a token that will only be useful on a certain environment. If you think about the example for the fanfare, for example, so you're going to have what happened during the ICO race was people were basically promising to build a fanfare in the future with the pre-selling of fanfare ticket at a discounted price. But there was nothing that actually guaranteed that the fanfare would even exist. So they were selling utility tokens, so vouchers to be used on the fanfare without the fanfare to exist. Then a security token is a security token happen once the SEC and a few financial regulations say, okay, the issuance of utility token are actually a way to hide the issuance of regulated products. So what happened is when you were in an environment where people were issuing utility token, they were actually issuing a product that would allow and have some aspect that a regulated product would have. So, for example, the right for dividends, or the right for voting, the voting right, or other right that security have. Now, the difference where I'm quite specific here on what we're seeing at the moment is you have the ICO race for token raising capital and raising funds with the creation of utility token. And now we're seeing a shift because of this regulatory hammer that happened. People are shifting from the ICO race to the STO race and are trying to mirror what happened during the ICO space and saying, okay, we still want to have access to that liquidity pool, but because we apparently can't do that anymore in a non-regulated way, we're going to try to comply with whatever rule we can and change the ship and replace the C with a T, and it's all going to be right. The STO, I say STO, and it's all going to be right. Now, it can't happen that way. And when you issue a security, you become the owner of a regulated company, and you now have obligation toward the regulator where in the country you issue the security to. And what people fail to understand is the difference between a security token and a tokenized security. So, and what has been issued so far, most of it has been tokenized security and not security token. So, do you want me to?
So just on this one, just make it precise for people. So when we talk about the ICOs at the moment, and the SEC body basically said they have not seen a utility token, everything seen to date is a security token. We sent shockwaves down because people were scrambling going, does that mean all the ICOs have been done? They're actually security tokens, and therefore they have to comply with the regulations. And if they don't, that's got a criminal implication.
Yes, and also what's really key is that tokenization of ownership and the fact of issuing let's put it this way, if you're issuing a token for a right of using a platform that doesn't exist, the voucher you're issuing is nothing else than an investment. And it is an investment on a future product. Now, that investment might have a future utility, And in that way, the security token, which is today, might become a utility token in the future when it starts to have an actual utility. But until that time happens, it is nothing else than a security.
Which is a security token, hence the regulations. But on that one, so in the conversation that in the panel, that switch to and from, so we talked about a security token. If an ICO, I'm buying this is Fairground token in the belief that it will be built, and the price may go up and down and all the rest of it. Now, when that fairground gets built, and that token can then be used for something, so it's got a dual purpose. It's got a value because it's going up and down, but it also gives me entry to the fairground. Now, if that's still the case, it still has a value, therefore, surely it still stays as a security token, even though it's got a purpose.
So, it depends. It depends on what's inside the token. So let's look at it this way. If you're having a token and you're issuing and you're selling your token to people that will not use your platform.
Yep.
So it's really close to a speculative investment, and the only reason why you would buy into that investment is for the future potential earning that in return
which is security through and through.
It's pure security, doesn't it? And it exists, and we know how to regulate that, and there's no question around it. Now, if you're selling, for example, we have the example of a video game where you sell the access of that platform to the future user of that platform, then it might qualify as a utility token. But then if you promise the increase in value of that token and you open the sales to whoever wants it, it doesn't qualify as a utility token as clearly. So it's a fine line.
So who makes that decision? Because there'll be a lot of people watching this or listening going, that's our use case. People can use the platform for the token, but also it's got a value. So who makes that decision, or whether it's security or whether it's security or utility? Because they've both got different tax implications. They've different got financial regulations. So would it be in the US, the FCC? Which body would be making that ruling? Who should people go to and say, please tell me, is this security or utility?
So at the moment, and also to answer that question, I'd say law firms. I'd say a lawyer would really answer that, and please do not issue any security token without the seal of approval of law firms. When we perform due diligence on projects, the legal angle that we look at is, have any law firm validated the nature of the token? And it's a key point, because that will give you so regulators at the moment have no clear regulatory angle on nature of tokens, and it's just because it moves so quickly. We talk to government as part of the Government Blockchain Association. We talk to government and we discuss with them on what's your view on regulation. How could you regulate the space? And they keep saying that, well, 6 months ago we were thinking of regulating ICOs, but today it's STOs. So what is it going to be in 6 months from now? And because of that, they can't just issue regulation for something that moves so quickly and that will potentially be completely different in a year from now. They need to regulate on the long haul. So if you look at, for example, Gibraltar, what Gibraltar is doing with their 9 principles, I think it's the kind of regulation that kind of makes sense for the space. And if we're looking at a consortium of regulatory framework in Europe and globally, it's most likely that we're going to be looking at that kind of regulatory framework rather than a strict book of rules.
Brilliant. Super. That's wonderful.
But please go to lawyer. Don't do a security offering without law firms. And if you need due diligence or seal of approval, we can help you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you.